guys, welcome to Merak Artistry YouTube channel. Hi guys, welcome to Merak Artistry YouTube channel. I am the client for today and the vibes is Owanbe.
Yes guys, you are welcome. So first things first, I'm going to be cleansing our face with the micellar water, and this is the Juliediamond micellar water. You want to make sure that your base is really clean before you start putting anything on the face. Next off is the mist sprayer. I'm going to be using this to give moisture and hydration to our face. Then I'll be going in with an hydrating spray, and I'll be using the Soo Pro Hydrating Mist. This hydrating spray is going to help the rest of your skincare products to absorb even more into the skin. Next off is a very good moisturizer, and I'm using the Juliediamond face moisturizer. And this brush is also from Juliediamond. This is the flat skin prep brush. Skin prep, you want to make sure that you give each step time. You want to take time to blend in your moisturizer to make sure that it is absorbed into the skin. So guys, going in with my Sweat oil block, I'm going to be applying this on the face and focusing majorly on the T-zone area, because these are areas that produces more oil and you want to really cage the sweat and the oil on that part. So one thing about this sweat block is that you have to make sure that it really dries out before going in with your next step, before applying your primer. So if you don't let it dry before going in with your primer, it can ruin your makeup and it can make it to crease or start shifting. So know that how you layer your skincare product really matters, and it's going to determine the outcome of your makeup. So next, I went in with the Rimmel London primer. It's a mattifying primer and I used it all over the face. Then I went in with another primer. This is the Becca Primer. I'm just using this on the T-zone area, only on the forehead, the nose and the chin area. So guys, I'm done with prepping the face. Next off is the foundation, and I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in 320 and the Superstay foundation in 340. Yes, and this brush is the Real Techniques brush. Gosh, this brush blends so well. It takes the foundation into the skin, it really blends it so well, and I love it. I'm not a fan of brushes, but just take a look at how smooth it came out. So I'm going in again with a beauty blender, and this is just to make it more smooth and really flawless. So I'm just using the excess on the beauty blender to just brush it, blend it really well with the neck. And guys, take a look at how smooth this came out. Just look at that skin match. Just look at how it came out so bomb. Gosh. Next off is my contour, and I'm using Maybelline in the shade 360. So I used a brush to apply it first, then I'll be using my beauty blender to blend it really well. I really love how it's sinking so well into the skin. So let me explain how I do my contour to you guys. To contour the cheekbone, I apply foundation that is more 3 shades darker than a skin shade, from the upper part of the hair down to the side of the upper lip, making sure to blend the contour going up the cheekbone and not downwards, because you want to give definition to the face. You want to make the face more snatched. So going in with the blush, I'm applying the blush directly on the contour, and I'm using the Tehila blush palette, cream blush palette. Make sure that I am blending it seamlessly into my contour upwards. The contour, the blush, I'm making sure that I'm using it to lift the face up and not blending downwards. So next step is to highlight the face, and I'm going to be using the Nuban in My Skin concealer in the shade 043 and the e.l.f. concealer. So I'm applying the Nuban Beauty concealer first because it's a darker shade compared to the e.l.f. concealer. Then I went in with the e.l.f. concealer, applying it on the inner part of the eye, the chin and the forehead, just to brighten the under eye. Then I'm going with my beauty sponge and just blend it out. So I blended it out off camera, and I'm going in with the hydrating mist just to melt it all into the skin. So after applying the hydrating mist, I went in with a fan to dry the face out. Then I used the beauty blender to sink it into the skin. Next off is to set the face, and I'm using the Vee Beauty in the shade Bianca. That's the lightest shade on the palette, and I'm going to put this directly under the eye. I'm just going to gently pat this under the eye just to set the concealer and make sure that the concealer has something to hold on to. So I'm going to be doing this on every area that I highlighted, the forehead, the chin area. I'm going to go in again with my beauty blender with that same shade in the palette that I used just now. I'm just going to dab this really well under the eye, basically on the parts that I highlighted too. So I've already set the parts that I highlighted, and I want to set the whole face. I want to powder the whole face up. I'm going to be using this same shade, Bianca, for every part of her face, making sure I blend it out. Next up is my powder contour. Like I said in my past videos, I like to do my contour and my blush together. So I'm using this Maybelline compact powder in the shade 355 and this Rose and Thegirl eyeshadow palette for my blush. So I'm just blending it out together. So I'm also going in with this pretty pink shade just to brighten up her face. So next off is giving definition to the nose and snatching the nose up. Going in with the RCMA no color translucent powder to bake the face, and that is what the RCMA powder is like for those of you that asked. Moving on to the brows, I started off by brushing the brows out. Then I went in with this brow tamer, the Just Makeup brow tamer, to brush out the brows really well because I really need to tame these brows down, guys. The brows are not carved and I didn't want to carve them, so I just decided to use a brow tamer, put it in place, and I applied a little amount of setting powder on it and leave it, then went in the eyes. Going in with my eyeshadow primer from Juliediamond I'm just applying this on the eyelid using a minimal amount. So to avoid the eyeshadow creasing, I always make sure that I go in by dabbing the eyeshadow primer on the eyelid and blend it out as I'm applying it on it. So I'm starting with a soft shade for the transition color. I go in with brown shades first. You can even use brown shades, cool brown shades from your powder palette. Then I'll be adding this other brown shade and blend it out. Now going in with this brown shade from this Naked Heat palette, I'm going to be using this shade to enhance the nose contour that I did and blend it out to the outer part of the eyelid. Next off, I'm going to be using a dark shade, and this is a black shade from the Rose and Thegirl eyeshadow palette for more depth on the outer corner of the eye and also under the eye. So I always like to go back in with a brush that I used to apply my eyeshadow base or primer. Then I'll just use it to pat the eyelid well before I go in with the main color for the eyelid. So going in with the shimmer color, a great tip for applying your shimmer shade if you want more popness, if you want it to really pop. Sorry guys, NEPA happened here. NEPA happened, so I just had to continue. Is to wet your brush. You can use your setting spray or just normal water just to wet the brush. This is going to make it more pigmented and really pop your eyeshadow. So that's what I did here, and I just applied the first shimmer I wanted. I just pressing the shimmer color on the eyelid. Then I went in with another shimmer shade and just applied it on the eyelid. I really love mixing my shimmer shades because it comes out so bomb. So next up, I'll be going in with a glitter glue. I'm using the NYX glitter glue. So the first pigment I went in with is the Nuban Beauty pigment in the shade Savannah, and I just applied this on the area that I've not applied any shimmer basically, and that is the inner corner of the eyelid, and I just applied this. Then I went in again with my favorite glitters, the Thegirlzkorner glitters in the shade Tehila, which is a gold shade, and I'm going in again with this shade thinner, which is like a purple shade, and I just applied a little amount on it, and that's it, guys. Next up is the waterline area, and I'm using the Merak Cosmetics Precise Liner for the waterline area. And this liner is actually very easy to work with, and I love the fact that it is very black. I really love that. You don't have to use a liquid liner or a gel liner. This pencil does it for me, and you don't have to be scared of getting teary or anything. This pencil is really easy to work with. Just look at how it took the eye look from a 0 to 100. Now it's time for brows, and I'm using the Davis pencil to draw my brows. It's basically very easy to draw because I've been able to tame down the hair. So guys, if you want to see how I draw my brows after doing my eyeshadow, I have a detailed eyebrow tutorial on my channel, guys. So feel free to check it out. Thank you. So after using the Davis pencil to draw the brows, I went in with a spoolie brush to brush out the brows. Then I'll be going in to conceal the brows, and this brush is the Juliediamond round angle brush. So I'm just going to conceal the brows using a very little amount of concealer because I have already done the eyeshadow, and I just need a very little amount just to define the brows and make it pop. So as I'm applying the concealer, I'm also blending it out because I don't want it to dry out without blending. So I went in with the brush that I used to do my eyeshadow, the transition color. So I just used this to brush out and blend the part that I highlighted. You can also use a powder shade for this part. So next up is the eyeliner, and I'm going to be using the Beyond Beauty gel liner to line the eye. So guys, moving on to the lips, I like to use a little amount of setting powder on the upper part of the lip. Then I'll be going in with the Beacham Ageless lip palette, and I'm using this pretty brown shade from it. Then I'll be using it to line the lips. This brush is from Juliediamond I used it to conceal the brows, and I'm also using it to line the lip. It works for various steps, and the precision is so neat, honestly. So after making sure I shaped the lips really well, I blended the edges out, and I went in with this pretty nude shade and just applied it as my lip base and just blend that out really well. So you guys do follow me on Instagram at Mina Artistry, and also on TikTok at Mina Artistry for a lot of sweet contents. Thank you so much, guys. Then I also went in with this pink lip stain, and I just applied it directly on the lip base I applied earlier. Then I'll just blend it really out. You want to make sure that everything you apply is well blended. That is why I'm telling her to smack her lips. Then I use my lip brush to just blend the edges out. You can also use eye blending brushes, just anything that will help to blend it really well for you. Then I went in with the Adventure lip lock in the shade Nude to just tone that pink down. I think I should have left it the way it was really pink. But moving on, I used the Mega Impact Kiss Beauty mascara to enhance our lower lashes and also our upper lashes. So I'm going to clean up the outer part of my eyeshadow, and I'll be using a beauty blender and powder palette. You can use your concealer to do this, but most times I use just the powder to just do like a line, just like clean the eyeshadow and make it neat and presentable. So I'll be topping the lips with a lip gloss, and you guys, look at how pretty the lips came out. Just look at what gloss does to the lips. It really brings it out. Like, look at how pretty this came out. So for you all asking where I get my products, I get my products from Cosmetics on Instagram. You can check out their page and order for your original makeup products, and their products are really affordable. So I'll be going into locking all of my makeup, and I'm using this Soo Pro Hydrating Mist to melt all my makeup in and use a fan to dry it out. Then I went in to use this beauty blender to just blend it into the skin. Next up is my highlighter. So I used the highlighter shade from the Tehila blush palette, and I mixed it with a little amount of glow oil. And the glow oil is the MK Beauty glow oil, just a little. Then I mix it together and just use it as my highlighter, just on the blush, the forehead, the chin, and the bridge of your nose. So finishing my makeup, I'm going to be using the Soo Pro Seal It spray to seal all of the makeup. So this is all for the makeup, and guys, I want you to please subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed my content to this point. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I tied this tie, because it's an Owanbe look and I wanted to really give Owanbe. So the tie is really, the scarf is really short, like very short. It's not even up to anything. So I put in a thick brown envelope just to hold it up and to be able to like give this style, and I'm just going to tie it at the back. So it's pretty much easy, but you can also use, maybe you can fold, if the scarf is very long, you can just fold the scarf probably like 3 times so you can get this style, and make sure that you put it like a little above the brows so it can like bring it out for you well. Then I just went into like smoothing the edges and just fold it in really well. So I went in to put her ears inside to make it look more pretty, and just to make sure that it's very tight, like you tie it really well so it doesn't shift or something. And she really loved how it came out, and I love it so much too. So I noticed that the neck was really dry and dull, so I went in with the glow oil. This is the MK Beauty glow oil, like I said earlier, and I'm just using a brush to like blend it and spread it everywhere on the chest area so it can brighten up that place. So guys, we're done with everything, and this is the finished look, guys. Just look at that tie, just look at how everything came out so bomb. Let me know in comments what you think of the end result of this look, and enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you so much guys for riding with me on this client's transformation, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you in my next video, guys.